Hello, my beauties. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Yogini Viv here, coach and mentor to goddesses. Welcome. It's kind of late that I'm starting this live, for my lives, I should say. And there are reasons for that. But welcome to those in the replay as well, because the majority of folks watch in the replay. Just so you know, you can ask questions in the comments, especially in the first 24 hours, if you have any questions, and I will give them a good, thorough reply, okay? So do respond with your questions or comments in the first 24 hours. So yes, it's a little bit late. It's about 7:15. Typically on Sunday, I go live a little bit earlier, but I'm so glad you're here. And what happened was, all right, I took a nap. I needed a break, and that is part of my Divine Feminine program. I needed to take a nap. I usually don't. And so I usually don't nap, but I've been trying to increase that. And we're going to talk about why and why that's good and in a minute. But so I finished my mindfulness meditation program. And this was our 8th session today with the goddesses who were enrolled. Some were repeating it. Some had taken it last fall. And so I needed a little rest from being on Zoom and, you know, being on the computer. So welcome. Hey, say hi, say where you're from. Again, most of you are going to be watching on the replay. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time saying hi to folks as they come in, especially because this is later than usual. So what we're going to talk about today, there are a couple ways I could have titled it. If you're interested in sacral chakra healing, I know that's always been the most popular content on my channel, is about the chakras, okay? Especially I started talking about them several years ago. All right, and now I have some new ideas to share with you about the chakras. I know a lot of you, there's a lot of videos where you can just listen to a meditation or listen to like sound and they're like, it'll heal that energy. But there's more to it than that. Now, for the sacral chakra, I always talk about meditation as one way, the primary way of healing that energy. Okay, so we're going to be talking about chakras for women, for goddesses. We're going to talk about nourishing the yin. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that, by the yin. You might have some idea. Let me know in the chat as you come in. Let me know if you are familiar with the concept of yin. Okay. And the Divine Feminine. So first of all, I want to thank those of you who voted. Hi KK. I put a poll up about a week ago now, maybe a little bit more, okay? I hope I acted fast enough. I put up a poll because Spirit was sort of whispering in my ear about teaching a program about the Divine Feminine and the chakras and healing for women. And it wasn't something I was like planning, but it evolves out of my chakra course and out of my, I had a course about healing the meridians, the energy meridians that flow through the body, healing the yin meridians, but I wasn't planning to do something brand new. Okay. But so I asked you guys, welcome goddess, say hi in the chat. And 71% of you, I wish I could show it, but I can't in this program that I'm using, StreamYard. I can't. 71% of you said, yes, I'm interested and I would enroll. This is the beta run. So if you were one of the 71%, actually it was 79. Hang on, I think it was 79%. And I put a no, folks weren't interested, but I'm going to put the link I created a page, and honestly, I worked too long and hard on it. But this is a beta run of this program. I am going to talk about it 3 different times. I'm going to talk about it briefly here, in the middle, and at the end. But let's jump into the topic for today. So if you're exhausted, all right, I want to approach this in 2 different ways. Some of you are going to be like, well, that's not me, but there are 2 different ways, 2 different approaches. If you are exhausted, tired, worn out, at any age, and you're watching this, then this video will be for you. And if you are interested in the topics I'm going to talk about, like the Divine Feminine, goddess worship, self care and self-love based on divine feminine principles, then this is also for you, even if you're not tired and worn out, okay? Because maybe you're not, because you've been taking care of yourself. So it's for two groups of women. All right. So I know a lot of us have been tired, worn out, stressed, and that has to do with the yin. So what is the yin? Yin, you've heard of yin and yang, of course. The yin is energy that we need, especially as women, we need more of to be healthy. So the best way to talk about yin energy is to give you examples, because it's something that's almost immaterial, so it's hard to like pin down a definition. Okay. Say hi if you're just joining. It's Viv here. If you're new to my channel, and I talk about energy healing, meditation, mindfulness for women. So the yin has to do with fluid in the body, all the fluids in the body. So if you're interested in healing your sacral chakra, just doing the things you might have been doing, if that's where you're coming at it, it's not enough if the physical aspect of the yin isn't taken care of. Okay. Let me know, give me a yes if that makes sense so far. So you can do meditations and it can definitely help with the energy of the chakras, but to fully heal as a woman, we need to have our yin energy balanced. Okay, give me a yes in the comments so I know that you are with me. Okay, and I love drinking out of jars. I'm like to keep things simple. You guys know I'm all about natural. If you're new, again, I'm all about natural health. So give me a yes. Hey, if you're just joining, I know I'm late for my Saturday live. Go ahead and say hi. Let me know how you're doing and welcome. So we're talking about the yin energy. So the yin has to do with the fluid. So sexual fluid, synovial fluid, mucus, water, blood, all of that has to do with the yin. And so as women, if we are yin depleted, we're not going to be at our best. You're not going to be powerful. You're not going to be effective, like literally on a day-to-day level, not even just a spiritual level. Okay. So the yin, men have yin energy and they need fluids just like we do, but, and those fluids they need as well. Right. But women, those in a female body more, okay, and the man has more of the yang energy he needs, but we need both, and you can get imbalanced. So what my position is that a lot of us Western women, especially women in America, and I'm going to talk about how you know if your yin is depleted. Okay, so I'm tying together the divine feminine, the concept of the divine feminine, with healing and nourishing the yin and the sacral chakra being the seat of the womb, okay, is a prime energy for women, whether or not you still have a womb, okay? It is a space of creativity in the sacral chakra, creation in the sense especially of obviously fertility, but fertility not just with children. It has to do very much with pleasure, okay? Sacral chakra, if you do not have enough joy in your life, you're not able to enjoy your life, if your life isn't juicy, okay, it isn't, it isn't joyful, there isn't enough pleasure, then there is a yin. You want to work with the yin energy at the sacral chakra. Give me a yes if you're with me. All right. Let me know. And I'm going to keep, because the reason I teach on this is because I had to learn a lot of this the hard way. And so just drinking some purified water here, I bought a good, really good, I was going to say expensive, but it's not expensive. It was an investment, really good quality filter. And then I have lemon in here. So I have lemon water in here. And I urge you, hey, Natalie, good. I got a yes. Good, good, good. And again, hi, KK. Who else is here? This actually what I used was grapefruit, you guys, which is really refreshing. Rather than just like strong grapefruit juice, it's grapefruit juice in purified water. So I'm going to give you some ways to know right away if you are yin depleted. Now, you may not have all of these, and stick around because I'm going to explain. The first one is going to be like, huh, well, I don't have that. Okay. But I'm going to explain its opposite. So these are some signs that you need to nourish your yin in your body. Again, just for overall health, but it also has a spiritual impact. So scanty periods. Like I said, I know some of us have heavy periods, but stay with me. Scanty periods are a sign of a lack of that nourishing yin energy. But heavy periods also can be connected, and I'll get back to that. Hot flashes, okay? Those of us in that age group, hot flashes are definitely welcome. If you're just joining, definitely a sign of depleted yin essence, yin energy. We're talking about women, the feminine, the sacral chakra. So hot flashes, let me break it down. Hot flashes mean your body has too much heat. And heat, the yin is cooling. So yin energy, always think it tends to be more cooling, neutral and cooling. The yang is the heat. So when there's hot flashing happening for a woman, which interestingly, right, it happens at midlife, as we're getting older, we have depleted, it's like we're born with a bank account. And if this is the yin, as we burn it, and I'll explain how we do that, the yin energy goes down. And that's why, I mean, it's literally something that happens. It is natural, right? When we think of an older person, we think of drier skin, we think of wrinkles versus a young person, right? Their skin is plump and soft, right? Are you with me? You know this is true. These are signs of depletion of yin. So I'm giving you theory here, but I want to make it real for you to understand. I'm not just sitting here like talking to you theoretically. It has implications. So hot flashes, okay? Those of you who are not at that age, don't worry. I've got other symptoms. Like I said, the scanty periods. Why is the scanty period a sign of depleted yin? Your body is literally not making enough blood when you have a period, you have a full period. Okay, it's scanty, again, dryness, which is the opposite of the yin. As women, we just never want dryness. Okay, we don't. We are supposed to be the yin is the moisture. Okay, let me give you some more symptoms of yin deficiency and depletion as a woman. Insomnia. In fact, I have someone who was in my course recently that I want to get together with her, make a private appointment, because the course wasn't about this, but who suffers from insomnia. Also, let me know if you suffer from insomnia. And this is something to not worry about. I don't want to say worry about, okay? But it is something to not overlook. Western doctors don't tend to take insomnia seriously, but insomnia is a sign of imbalance, goddesses, okay? So insomnia, you need to take it seriously, okay? When there isn't enough yin, the spirit can't rest. It's as if, those people who they're really easy to irritate. They just don't have a lot of patience. Short-tempered. That's also a lack of yin. Yin acts literally as a lubricant to our whole body, to our whole system. So when you are yin depleted, you are, and I'll give you the next example, postpartum depression. Okay, so those of you maybe younger and who've had children, why does postpartum depression strike some women? The overall theory and the reason behind it is their yin is depleted. Having babies, even if it's their first one, took such a toll on them, okay, that it depleted this essence. Think of the yin as the essence, the softness, the fluid, as I said, the blood quality, but it's also the sort of lubricating fluid of the brain, of the nervous system, the synovial fluid, all of that is yin. So when a woman, this often happens the more children she has, each child depletes her yin. Why? She's often breastfeeding. She had to grow the baby in her body for months. So all of these things deplete yin. Okay? Give me a yes if you're following me. So again, if you're not having that, that's just one of the symptoms. Vaginal dryness. Okay? Like I said, as women, dryness is not something that I can think of any positive for in our feminine system. So vaginal dryness, again, often happens as we get older, and it's because that yin is getting depleted, but it can happen to you even young. Postpartum depression, vaginal dryness, insomnia, dry skin and hair. right? And again, what happens as we get older? But stay with me because I'm going to give you solutions to this, okay? So don't get depressed or think, well, I don't have those, because you want to build more yin. So even if you're like, if this is normal, the more yin you have in a positive way, that's going to improve longevity and brain function. As I said, yin is related to the synovial fluid, all the fluid that the brain needs, right? So it's not just watery fluid, but it's like a slightly oily fluid as well. Okay, are you with me? So if you care about your brain health and you care about aging well and staying, juicy, staying vital, you need to keep watching. So I've got a couple other ways to know that your yin is depleted. Night sweats. So getting really hot at night, sweating profusely. Okay, let me know if you have any of these in the chat. Let me know that you're with me, and I'm going to pause. I'm going to have some water. Okay, because I'm not going to be on super long. So talk back to me. Do you have any of these symptoms, or do you know someone who does? Okay, and I'm giving you the physical symptoms. There's emotional and spiritual symptoms as well, but the physical ones are the ones that you're going to notice the most. Okay, so postpartum depression, night sweats, and running warm or hot after a lifetime of running more cool. So again, getting into perimenopause, postmenopausal, a lot of women say to me, yeah, now I don't need sweaters like I used to. I can go out, like my legs don't get cold, they're running hotter. This is factual. Like this is not even woo-woo. If you're a woman, women in that age range here will tell you that. Again, it's a negative sign, because it means they're depleting the yin, and because the yin, the cooling element, is going down, the heat, the yang, is rising. Okay, the yin, as it goes down, makes the yang appear stronger. So that's where you feel hot more easily. You feel hot at night. Okay. Hi, KK. Thanks for responding. Yeah, exactly, KK. That can happen. That can happen. So KK, consider my program. I'm talking about this to educate women, and I go much, much deeper in my program about the divine feminine. So these are just physical symptoms. I want to talk to you a little bit about the spiritual, and then I will talk to you about how you can nourish the yin. And again, most of you are watching on the replay. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Come to this program. Like I said, it's a beta run. So like KK, if you're in it, you're going to get more attention. You're going to help me to focus the program, because I create it for the people who enroll. So it's a test program, and the link is, I'm going to show it on screen. Whoops. It's right there. And I'm going to put it in the chat. So I'm going to talk about how this fits for us as women. So I really want to get more into the spirituality of it. So a lot of you are interested in the divine feminine. You may not have made these connections, but they're really not like strange connections. So the divine feminine, I believe that the divine feminine is rising, and you can see it in society because we've reached an extreme point in our society. And so the divine feminine, what that means though, is bringing back the connection to divine feminine archetypes, to goddesses, as women. And this has been happening. I think it started in the 70s, really, but there is more of a rise in that. Okay. And so in my program, one of the things we'll work with is I will teach you, introduce you to shamanic journeying, so that you can begin to connect with a goddess of your choice and from your a tradition that may surprise you, honestly. So again, I'm going to connect all this back to the yin. So what this, and I'm able to, I hope you can follow me, that the sacral energy and the feminine wounding, which I think causes a lot of this, underlie a lot of this, is that we might feel cut off from our body as women. Okay, this is more the emotional. This is more the emotional I'm going into now. And you feel cut off from your physical body, and you live, a lot of women I see are just here, like in their head, they're not in their body. So if you're a partner of a woman, you can also comment, tell her about my program. So a lot of Western women, we're not as much in our body. We're up in our brain and only in the mind, right? And the mind is getting very anxious, a lot of problems with that, like overthinking. Okay. Again, this is true. Sadness or lack of vitality. This is a sign of the feminine energy being wounded, depleted. Feeling also emotionally thrown off by outside people and events. When your yin is nourished, and this is in male or females, or wherever you are on that spectrum, okay, you still have a physical body. So whatever of those two that you are, you will be less thrown off the more your yin is balanced. Again, for males, they need less yin. For females, we have more yin, okay? But the yin is literally, again, like a cushion. That moisture of all the tissues gives us an ability to it's like a buffer, okay? And I'm not being sarcastic here, but fat also is like a yin quality. And, I know you may have heard this or thought this, like sometimes, or for yourself, women especially gain weight as a form of what? Why do a lot of women will tell you they know they carry a lot of weight because it makes them feel safer. They feel protected. Your girlfriends who are bigger than you, right? They can be out in the cold. They don't feel as cold, right? Yes, it's an insulator. So get what I'm saying, that yin has an insulating quality, okay? And you don't have to be obese to have it, but fat is one of the yin elements in us. So we want to have healthy yin, and that emotionally buffers us so we don't necessarily need to be overweight, okay? You also can feel ungrounded and a lack of focus if your yin is depleted. Okay, so those are more the emotional signs. Let me come back. I was looking at my page. I was reading my notes, but I want to take any questions at this point. Yeah, Erica. And so when the mind just runs nonstop, that is one of the signs of the yin being depleted and you not feeling nourished, if that makes sense. The yin is not nourished enough. So yes, questions, comments. Here, I'm going to put up. So it also drug use depletes yin. So I talked about signs. I'll go really quickly over them. Scanty periods, hot flashes, insomnia, dry skin or hair, vaginal dryness, postpartum depression, all from yin depletion in women, night sweats, and feeling hot, running hot after a lifetime of previously being needing a sweater. Okay. Drug use is something that depletes the yin. Let's talk about what things you do that deplete the yin. So that you know. And then you can just flip it to what will nourish the yin. So the actions you can take to nourish the yin physically, I'll get to, but staying out really late, staying up really late, partying hard, anything where you're using your body in a hard, driving, think almost like masculine way, but it doesn't necessarily have to feel like it's a masculine way. So say if in your 20s, you partied a lot, you did a lot of drugs, when you hit your 40s and 50s, the yin is going to have been exhausted. Okay. Trust me on this. And that's when you'll start to see symptoms. Because we all know when you're 20, when you're 18, when you're 19, you can stay up all night. You can drink, you can get up the next day, go to work, right? But that behavior depletes this yin bank account that I'm talking to you about. The yin goes down. So when you hit your 40s, 50s, 60s, that's when the problems start because you don't have that balance of yin left, okay? So I'm just putting this out, goddesses, to the young ones and to those of you 40s, 50s, and wise women, 60s, 70s, so that you begin to understand some of these concepts. So I think right here as, hey, if you're just joining, I will mention my program. 79% of you said, yes, you would enroll. It's only $59 at this time. Okay, because it's a beta test run. So be the first, enroll, and the course will run. And I'll be talking about how to heal the yin, how to nourish the divine feminine. We'll do a lot of self-care activities. Literally the first lesson that I have planned, it's 5 sessions. The first lesson alone, you're going to feel amazing, and it makes it completely worth it. I promise you. What we're going to do in the very first session, you're going to feel so good, so loved up, so fantastic. Okay. So the program is at my website, intheflowofmagic.com, and I'm calling it at this point, Awakening the Divine Feminine. Okay. So to nourish the yin, you need to, I'm just going to give you some of what I will teach in the course, because we're going to go much more in depth in there. But getting to sleep at a proper time, ideally before 10. When your body sleeps, all your hormones balance, all your body detoxes. So again, when you cut into that sleep, it's like you're depleting your bank account. There's no better metaphor. And each of us is born with a certain amount in our energetic bank account. That's the best way I can put it. Not to scare you, but this is true. Western medicine would call that your constitution, right? Oh, my grandma, she smoked. She smoked cigars. She drank. She lived to be 95. That's constitution, goddesses. Now, I'm noticing more and more in younger generations, those that are watching me, younger generations, the constitution is not as strong. It is just not as strong. So the fact that your great grandmother could smoke cigars, you know, drink, have a whiskey every night, had a huge garden, that's good, because that shows you how you come from strong stock. But we still have to nourish our own yin. So sleep is a primary way. Again, my channel is about self-care and self-investment. And yep. So give me your comments at this point before I go on. I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause. And that is part of the divine feminine, just rest. That's something we'll talk about in my program in Healing the Divine Feminine. Okay. Avoid rushing. Avoid rushing. When we rush, it's like a factory. You're running the factory on overdrive. Again, you know, I love metaphors, you guys. Picture a factory floor and how, you know, everything's just going, going, going. When you speed that up, think about what would happen with the machinery. It wears down. It starts to, actually, even the lubrication gets dry, right? It's working too hard. The metal may start to, I forget what that's called, when metal starts to break down a little bit. We're the same way. So goddesses, ladies, when you start doing things very quickly as your lifestyle, rushing around, you're depleting your yin. All right. So avoid rushing as much as you can. Welcome if you're just joining. We're talking about sacral chakra healing, what you need to know relative to that. That's beyond just meditating on the sacral chakra, which is very, very powerful. I'm giving you actions that will build your physical and spiritual well-being. So Priya, yeah, the page is up. The enrollment is up. And would love to see you in the program. We had actually had a consult, and you guys, you can do a consult with me. And I'm going to put that viv.as.me. Okay. And you can just look for it. It's like a free 20-minute consult. I can answer any questions that you may have about working with me, and just also give you, I promise to give you 1 or 2 takeaways. I think with Priya, let me know in the chat. Did you get some good takeaways from our time together? It was really lovely talking to you. I really enjoyed it. So eat a diet with healthy fats. So low fat, that this is a tricky one. I am not a doctor, and I don't know your condition. You know, obviously a woman who is, you know, 210 pounds, who has high cholesterol, is in a different position than a woman who is maybe a size 4 and has the scanty periods I talked about and the vaginal dryness. So the advice I can give you in this setting is more general, right? So, oh, great. Awesome, Priya. Nice, nice. Yeah, Viv as me, you can make a 20-minute, it's by phone. We're not going to do a whole Zoom, okay? But you can chat with me if you have questions about any program. And I do promise, I call it clarity and calm, that you will at least get two to three points that you can take away for yourself. And it's a free consult, okay? So I do offer that for the community as well as coaching. So eat a diet with healthy fats. Again, depends on your condition. But what I say healthy fats, if you eat meat, you know, healthy fats, you need some fat. Especially women need more fat. Okay. We need more fat. So fat is not all bad. Now, in fact, I can give you a, and you may know this, but not everybody knows this, especially in our communities. In the Black community, I would say not everybody knows this, and actually beyond. A lot of it is education about nutrition. Some of it is familial stuff that's passed on. But a bad fat would be when you go to any sort of like fast food restaurant or, you know, Chinese food, and you see the oil and the oil is smoking, goddesses. This is bad fat. They have reused the fat. So I know a lot of you know this. Give me a yes if you already knew this. The fat, they're just reusing it and reusing it, and it becomes really toxic. So that's not a healthy fat, like avocados. Be careful also with coconut oil. That can really raise your cholesterol. It's been touted previously as a healthy fat. I have found it not to be. Advised two of my friends whose cholesterol was skyrocketing. Like, I'm proud of myself because I am that type of friend. I'm like, wait, did you start adding coconut oil? And they're like, yeah, I heard it's really healthy. In both cases, these two friends of mine, dear friends of mine, their cholesterol was high. And you know, there's some controversy about the readings, but this was like a recent thing for them. Like, they were normal and then high. Okay, not good. I told them, stop the coconut oil, stop it. Because they were using it, maybe not a lot, like, oh, a tablespoon a day. It is saturated and it just tends to push up. It's a tropical oil. It just tends to push up cholesterol. And many of us are not as active as we should be. Okay. You see me going on a tangent because I really care about you guys. So I'm not going to talk about so much about the, you know, your cholesterol level, but eat a diet in healthy fats. Meditate. Because again, the yin is resting, the yang is active. Yang is activity, it's heat. The yin is cooling and rest. So when we become the type of woman who's rushing, staying up late, you're harming yourself as a female. Okay, so meditate. And like I said, my program just finished and it was just so sweet. The women who participated saw the benefits. One woman who is in nursing said to me, Viv, when I meditate, my day goes more slowly. And she means in a good way, not like dragging. So instead of it being super rushed and intense, and it feels, I literally say it's like the Matrix in the good way, where, you know how in the Matrix things could go slowly and time opened. That is a benefit of meditation. And it calms and cools us as women. And in that, our system can basically regenerate. It's like in all the movies where they kind of show, like, they always do this. It's like witches, like they regenerate. But it's the resting. The feminine can do that more than the masculine. It's probably why it might freak men out, honestly. Okay. It helps men as well. But I'm just saying, as women, I feel like we can regenerate ourselves. Meditation. And finally, last tip I'll give in terms of nourishing the yin, which within this is bone broth if you eat meat. Okay, now I'm not currently doing that, but bone broth, because literally inside, when you make bone broth, the marrow in animal bones, that's the yin I'm talking about. We have that within our own bones. That marrow is yin. So bone broth, those of you who eat meat, and I think that's maybe half my audience, who knows, probably more. I know it's expensive. You can just make your own bone broth. You don't have to be buying because then you're buying all the time they spent boiling it, and just buy the bones yourself, okay, and boil it. But again, if you want to know more, join me, join Priya as well, join the other women who are in this program. And as I said, the name temporarily is, I decided to call it Awaken the Sacred Feminine. So it's not just physical. We're not just going to talk about health, because I already had, like, my program, the, Healing the Sexual Energy, was a lot about the meridians. In this, we're going to talk about, and not just talk, we're going to experience a lot of movement. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm looking at my page, I have Sacred Dance and Movement. a lot of it will be seated, but we're going to work with the pelvis, the womb, with meditations and with movements. I'm going to teach you some yogic practices to tone that whole area. Okay. The lower 3 chakras, especially the root, the sacral, and the 3rd chakra. Okay. Because again, if you have these issues I mentioned, we want to build the yin. I want to get back to one thing as I see my notes where I talked about scanty periods being a yin deficiency. Those of you who have heavy periods like I did, who have fibroids, your yin can also get depleted. Let me explain how. So, as I said, scanty periods are a sign of yin deficiency, but having fibroids and bleeding excessively, if you've really been following me, you could see how that can also lead to yin deficiency, because when you bleed too heavily, right, that's also from too much heat in the body, is how we would say it. The body is like heated up, and so the fibroids are causing that heavy bleeding, and there's congestion, there's stagnation in the womb. And then as you bleed so much over years, that depletes the yin, because the yin is related to blood. So hear me, those of you who also have heavy bleeding, over time, you're going to deplete your yin. And that's what happened to me. I never had scanty periods. I had very heavy menstrual flow linked with the fibroids. Okay. And I will tell you the truth. It's very hard for me to go to bed early at a decent time. I was living in New York City. I was speeded up. I was doing all the things that deplete the yin. Okay. So just know that even having a heavy period can, in the long run, lead to yin depletion. It absolutely can and will. And that will literally be, as in my case, many of you know, I had to get a blood transfusion. That's the yin. I just told you yin is the liquids in the body, the fluids, right? I mean, you can see, I'm talking conceptually, but you can see it in real life. So when a woman who has such heavy bleeding, it's very common in the West, we'll give her a blood transfusion. So we're literally giving her yin. We're nourishing her back up because she's lost so much. So if you don't want that to be, the case for you, and you want to have more control over your healing, your life, more juiciness, more joy. So it's not just about the physical health, because I know some of you are like, well, my periods are okay. I don't have these problems. You want to have a full tank of yin. So the yin, as we get older, it goes down and down and down, but you want to, even if you're healthy, you want to have enough so that as you age, you'll age gracefully. Okay. So again, to nourish your yin, some of the tips, and there'll be more in the program. Get to sleep before 10 or as early as you can. Avoid rushing, avoid a speeded up lifestyle, eat foods and a diet that includes healthy fats, not smoking fats that are not greasy fats from fast food or Chinese restaurants where they have the vat of oil that is turned dark brown. That is not healthy. Meditate, nourish your yin, and bone broth also. So let me now take your questions. I'm going to stop there. And if you have any questions, definitely. Great. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Priyesh. Yes, you enjoyed your call. It was the right medicine conversation I needed. I felt very supported. Good. And Viv is really comforting and calming to talk to. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. So put any questions. There's no silly questions. Put your questions in the chat. Okay. And I'm just scrolling through here, and I'm going to wait for some questions or comments. So all of this teaching is drawn from, who am I? For those of you who are new, I'm not just some random person on the internet. I actually studied not to become an acupuncturist, but to do shiatsu massage. And so for that, I studied a lot of these principles in my massage school training and in additional training. In fact, on my website, I mentioned that I've had over 1,000 hours, and I think it's like 1,400 hours of training in somatic practices, body-related practices. And I am a certified yoga teacher as well as retired as a massage therapist. I'm not doing the direct massage therapy right now. So over 1,000 hours just of like literal training, not even the hours of practice that I've put in. So let me see if you have any questions. Do you have any of these symptoms? And also, like I said, I want this program not just to be women who are, how can I put it? It's not about like, oh, it's for women who want their, who want even better, who want a better life. And for that, we need to get our feminine self in order. So some of the things that I'm going to teach on, like I said, is movement. We'll work with the area, the pelvis, the womb space. I'm going to introduce you to how to do shamanic journeying. Ask me if you're not sure what that is when I say shamanic journeying. We're going to also, you will be assigned to create a sacred space where you can work with a goddess archetype of your choice, whether that's Sekhmet, Isis, Freya, whomever from your pantheon, you know, wherever she is in the world. And I will help you to know how to make that connection, but it will be on you to research the particulars of each goddess, because depending on how many women are in the program, we could end up all around the world, whether in South America, Africa, Japan, China. You know, there's Kuan Yin is a goddess. You know, maybe you're called to develop more compassion and more of your heart center, and that could be Kuan Yin. All right. So I'll also definitely give you some deep guided meditations so you feel embodied. So this program, Awakening the Sacred Feminine, is really about us as women getting back more into our bodies. Like I said at the beginning, most of us are living up in our heads. And so that, in a way, cuts us off from our intuition, makes us less feminine in a real holistic way, not just like, you know, long nails and long hair. I don't mean like that. Like you can look in any way, shape, or form, but we don't want to be cut off from the feminine. So it doesn't have to be stereotypical feminine, but we want to have that connection, that healthy womb. Or if you've had your womb removed, have that energy still balanced. So I'll have meditations. And a lot of what we'll also do is I will teach you 2 primary types of healing self-massage. Okay. One will work with, I'll also teach you specific points to build the yin energy, and another type as well. And then earth connection. As women, we want to have reconnect with the energy of the earth. Many of you know this. I know many of you practice grounding, right? Getting your feet directly on the soil. I will work with you with practices for that, because the more our rhythm can get in with the natural rhythm, the healthier we'll be. We won't have the scanty periods, the hot flashes, the insomnia. All of those are signs of imbalance. So it is a spiritual course, even though I'm talking a lot about the physical. Let me know if you have questions about the spiritual aspect as well. So working with the sacral chakra, the seat of our pleasure, our ability to enjoy life, to have the joy, like the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, means sweetness, the sweetness of life. So it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 30 or 70, you can still feel very good in your body. And I want to help create that in us as women so that we have that, whether you're coupled or whether you're solo. Okay. Whether you're coupled or solo. Well, right. So Lit Squad, that's a great question. Exactly. Well, like take my course, because that's what I'm going to teach. And what about this course is, which it's live. It's not just like you reading by yourself. It's not one of those courses where the teacher isn't there. I'll be with you. We're going to do them. So you'll literally get to practice them to feel it. So to answer that, as I said about nourishing, the ways to nourish your yin that I mentioned, you know, putting more bone broth in your diet, putting healthy fats in your diet. Nuts are healthy. Avocado. So fats that come from whole foods, right? Not fractionated, not broken or deep fried oils. Meditate. I have a lot about that on my channel. You can find different meditations. Avoid rushing. And this is going to help your children, Lit Squad. So what I see with the women that I have worked with in the past who have kids is, and this is just, again, this is factual. If the mother is more balanced, the child will be more balanced. If you can nourish the mother, there's like almost like an energetic runoff to the child. This is always absolutely a fact. So I would say for you, see if you can start a meditation practice and then some of the other things. And the course is literally $59. And I think PayPal is going to take like 4 of it. So this is absolutely affordable. It is absolutely affordable if it's something you're interested in. And again, so this is the physical part, but I also really want those of you who are very much into the spiritual to understand that it is a very spiritual course as well. So for Lit Squad, I would say focus on your self-care overall. That's actually going to help your children. So focus on getting enough sleep, right? Maybe you need to move their bedtime earlier so that your bedtime is at a decent hour. I mean, it's probably not going to be, you know, before 10, like 10, if you can get it at 10, but if it's 11, 11:30 versus 12, that's going to help you. And over time, you're going to be a stronger mother and you're going to be able to nourish your children and you're going to be better. So that's, I hope that that was helpful. Let me know what you do now. Erica, that's a great question. You work every other Saturday and you saw the time. Let me just state the time. I think I had put it at 11 goddesses on Saturday because most of us are home. You know, it is so hard. It's so hard to find like the exact time. But yeah, you don't have to be there for every call. And is it that time specifically? Because I think I put it, because I don't want to state the wrong time on the video, but I think I put it for 11 Eastern. That's 8 a.m. for you California gals. I think most of my audience is in the East Coast, most, but not all. Got a lot of Texas. Yeah. You know, but yes. So let me hold on. The link is right in the chat right now. So again, I want to mention though, if you don't want to do any of the goddess work, you don't have to, but it's, you know, our ancestors did, whether, you know, it could be Mother Mary, but it's for you to have a feminine archetype of positivity. Okay. Because I feel like somebody had a question about that because I'm very intuitive, but it can be, you know, the goddess from any pantheon, and I will teach you some shamanic journeying. So there's definitely a lot of woo-woo in this course. There's a lot of woo-woo and a lot of self-care. So yeah, you don't have to be there for every class, every Zoom call, because we will, in fact, I always tape it, of course. I always tape it. And so, yes. And right now I have it as 5 sessions. Like, you know, it's a test. I was like, is it between 4 and 6 sessions? And 4 felt too short. Okay. I just thought that's too short for the information and the practices I want to lead you and teach you. So 5 felt like a good amount. Okay. So again, get in on this in the beta, because this is the lowest price it will ever be. And if you're interested, this is how I know to run it. Like, just like enroll and it tells me that we're going to run it. Okay. So the course isn't pre-made, though, to be honest with you, it's a lot of what I already put in the sacral chakra chapter of the chakra course. So that you'll get a lot of that whole, all of that information, and also some of the self massages in my other course. So, so just to say, I mean, I have it. It's not like I'll be, you know, totally like starting from zero, you know, but yeah. So there's the link. If you just go to intheflowofmagic.com, that is my website. It's literally $59. It is affordable. And it's not just, like I said, physical healing. I really want this to be spiritual. I felt energetically, there are some of you in the community who are really want to go more deeply with your spiritual growth. So I hope I didn't throw you off by talking so much about like fertility. I didn't really talk much about fertility. Infertility, that's obviously very tough. There's almost 2 approaches to infertility. One is that yin depletion, and one is almost blocking. So women who have like, is it PCOS, like where they have too much and they have fibroids, that's like an excess condition that can cause infertility. And then there's a yin depletion condition where the woman has trouble like holding keeping the fetus in, and even the egg, being healthy enough. That's more of a yin depletion. You can actually have a little, like, it's not yin excess, but again, those of you who may have like a lot of fibroids, it can interfere with infertility. You need a little more of the detoxing. Okay. And check out Queen Afua for that if infertility is really, really important to you. But this can be part of the program I'm teaching, can be part of it. So again, you'll be working with the divine feminine goddess archetype of your choice, Sekhmet, Isis, goddess Diana, Artemis, Oshun, whoever calls to you. I'm not going to dictate that. So you will learn things that you can really take with you for the rest of your life. And it's not so much about the information, it's going to be the experience. Because as a woman who's fully in her yin, you're going to find, last important point, your intuition goes up. So when the yin is nourished, you're going to feel grounded, you're going to feel balanced, you're going to feel more sensual. So that's a huge aspect of this program too, is the sensuality. Okay, it's the sensuality that I forgot to mention that. So I feel, again, back to this, we're living in our heads. We're just running from thing to thing to thing to thing. That's not how, in a healthy society, that any of our ancestors, that the women live. Now, in a healthy society in human history, right? The women were much more in touch with their bodies. They had women's societies. Every culture had this. The women had their own rites and rituals they did. And, there'd be a wise woman who could like help with the herbs and help her with her menstruation. And we've lost all of that. And so my program is an effort to start to bring some of that back, to like, the sacral chakra, and that sacred feminine. You see that triangle, right? The womb, that beautiful triangle. Also, I'll also be working with you with the heart chakra, because what I find with a lot of women who have sacral chakra issues, Spirit is leading me that the heart chakra is often depleted as well. There's someone who's not here today. I don't see her in the chat, but she's made that connection herself. So we will work with getting that. And these are considered the feminine. These are the feminine chakras. The feminine energy is the sacral, and then the heart are two. And so we want to have a connection between that womb energy, that sensuality, the pleasure, the joy, and the softness, and the heart, which is the love and the compassion. Okay. So any questions before I go? Ask them now, get them in there. I'm going to wait a little bit because it takes like a minute for it to come from YouTube over to StreamYard. Okay. So I'm going to wait a little bit. Any question? No question is, no question's a dumb question. All right. So get it in the chat and give me just a minute for it to come over. Oh, Erica, you are welcome. So this is key. Even like I mentioned briefly, any short-temperedness, anger often has to do with a depleted yin. We've all seen, I have another quick example. We've all seen that mother who is overwhelmed with her kids, right? I didn't have children. Like I always say, I've done childcare. Oh my God. I'm not lying to you. When I started, I was like, my mother went through this. I just, because I was raised as an only child. And so the child rearing. But we've all seen that exhausted mother who's just flips out, right? She just snaps in front of us. She's at a store. She's yelling at the kids. She like grabs the kid. Again, goddesses, that's depleted yin, because when we have enough yin as women, we have more patience. The softness and the patience is there. And so it's almost not the woman's fault. The society, and maybe that's a separate video. Maybe I'll make a separate video about how society wears women down and forces us into kind of a masculine, let me just write that, into kind of a masculine mask. Okay, a masculine lifestyle. And I know this is going to rub all the people who are like, oh, I'm non-binary. And that's fine. But wherever you are on any spectrum, our Western society is what we would call way into the masculine in a way that's not healthy for men or women. Hear me here. It's not healthy for men or women. Okay. So I'm not blaming individual men here. It's just the way the society has gone, where the values are these masculine values, and maybe not modern masculine men, but it's built into the system. Okay. And it harms both men and women. So it's not like just men benefit. For many men, it's not working, you know, the world as it is right now. So, okay, I just put this up. Oh, perfect. Yes. The price will hold until the 30th. And I just need to see the numbers to know that it, so by enrolling, you tell me that the course should run. Oops. Okay. Yeah. My light went out now, because that means I've been going for about an hour. How long have I been going for? But yes, I think you're going to love it, Lit Squad. There's going to be so much healing within it. It's open to all women. You don't have to be from a particular background or a particular age. I really want to have a variety of women in the course, because what often happens is the older women, I'm thinking of a recent course, a woman who was in the wise woman stage was able to give wonderful advice to a woman who was like maybe late 20s. And it helped her to do that. And it helped the younger woman. So it's really beautiful. Yes. Hey, Alyssa. Yes, Alyssa Bear Killer. Alyssa, I'm gonna say you're probably into shamanism. Is that right, Goddess? So Lit Squad, I hope that you are able to enroll, Goddess. It's $59. Like I said, after tax, and it's probably, I think I receive for each person like 50, and it's 5 sessions. So it is ridiculously affordable. I know not for everyone, but I think for most women who want to take this, it's definitely affordable. And it's this price because it's the beta run. It's the very first run. So Alyssa Bear Killer, are you into shamanism? I am really curious now. I am. My dad is Native American, and that is where my last name comes from. Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing. I am actually terrified of bears. I have a strange fear of bears. Alyssa Bear Killer. And I have a story. Those of you who are with me, I'm here for your questions, guys. So, or your comments. And I gave some free ways you can start nourishing your yin, but this you want to get support. So Alyssa, I was walking with a girlfriend once, and she's really chatty, really chatty. So she's like not paying attention, but me, I'm from the Bronx. Okay, Bronx people, New York City. All right. I'm paying attention. I'm like, I'm in the woods. Shit could go down, right? So I just being myself. I don't know. I wasn't consciously thinking that. But again, New Yorker, grew up in the Bronx, taking the subway. I'm walking, you guys, this gigantic bear. When I tell you this path, so it's me and her, so the width of 2 women, and the path still had room. I no lie, it had, I would say, at least 2 feet on each side. So how wide is that? She's yakking, and I'm like, bear, bear. She's like, what? She keeps talking. But then when she grabs me when she sees the bear. So picture the 2 of us. We're just standing in the middle of a path. She's grabbed me. I'm like, oh my God. We're like this. Like it looks like a cartoon. And then I say to her, I go, keep talking, keep talking. Because she stops talking, like, which is not good. Like keep talking so the bear knows we're there. So my point, I'm telling you the width of the path, the bear, I would not lie to you. At one point, the length of the bear walking on all 4s took the whole path. So what's that? 6 feet, the width of 2 women, and 2 feet on either side. All I saw was the big brown shape took up the whole path. And you know, we were so stupid. We kept walking. Don't ask. Don't ask. all I could think of was, her name's Diane. She would laugh if she knew I was talking about her on YouTube. I'm like, Diane, just keep talking. and we kept walking. But I get, you know, the bear, so the bear crossed. Yeah, I mean, the bear didn't stand up and look at us, because obviously, I'd probably not be here with my little head wrap and my earrings telling you the story. The bear just kind of ambled through, and that obviously was a bear crossing. And we just kept walking. I think, though, very soon after that, I said, Dan, I didn't know you guys had bears. I mean, you're that far out. And she's kind of like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, why don't we turn around? Because I'm from the Bronx. So we turned around. And she was, by then she was laughing, but it was a nervous laughter. That's all I'm going to say. It was a nervous laughter. Like, yeah. Thinking of her, love her to death, but she's probably, bears have seen her. She's not even seen the bear because she's very distracted. Like I said, love her to death. But if, you know, this was, I think she said that was the first time, though, on that path seeing a bear. Anyway, so yes, they are magnificent. They're absolutely magnificent. But I had the fear of bears before that. It's just one of those things, like a fear of heights. So anyway, Alyssa, I want to thank you. If you have any questions, ask now. Erica, thank you. Lit Squad, thank you. Priya, thank you. And KK, are you still here? KK, yeah, you were saying you had night sweats. Also in the program, I could recommend, you know, potentially some herbs, but I like to recommend herbal formulas. So I want to have more interaction with you before I would do that. But there are herbal formulas that can bring down the night sweats and make a huge difference, KK. So check out the course, $59. It starts in January. Okay, so it's not starting before Christmas. It's not, you know, we're all busy right now. So I think hold on, another comment come in. Yes, thank you for sharing your story. Yes. So yeah, go back and rewatch if you're new to my channel. And go back and rewatch. If you have time, just listen while you're cooking or whatever. Yeah, it's really common. YouTube, those of you who are still here at the beginning, because I know I said I'm going to go. So some people are like, okay, she's done. YouTube takes a while to send out notifications. So if you've watched this far, thank you. Thank you so much. Do subscribe and click the notification bell. So when there's a video, YouTube maybe gives like 40–50% of the people, it'll let them know, hey, so-and-so is going live. YouTube, like say you're subscribed to 20 channels. YouTube doesn't want to disturb you too much because that's not a good experience. So they don't tell everyone. But they will, like, I think an email or something or a text. I'm not sure. I don't think they text you. I don't know. But they'll let you know. So yes, I talk a lot. What blew my channel up was talking about the chakras, and I want to continue talking about them, but also put them in the context of the energy system of the energy meridians, because I was trained as a massage therapist. And so they're energy meridians that flow all through our body, and they're parallel on both sides. So I have a program on that. And in this program about the divine feminine and healing the yin, we will do 2 types of massage related to that training that will help with healing and nourishing our yin as women. So do check it out. You are invited, Alyssa, if it's the right thing for you. No bears will be there. We might even get a little bit into, you know, one of the women who I know is going to participate is very drawn to a particular type of animal life, like to dolphins and whales. And we'll see how much we get into that. But with the shamanic journeying that we'll do, I might giving you an intro into that. It'll give you a way to that the Native Americans and really a lot of our ancestors, certainly African ancestors, a lot of South American ancestors. And if you go way back, I would also say in Europe, where they were able to connect with animals, what we call animals, meaning whether it's a deer, right? The hunter who is stalking a deer and who is able to really communicate with that deer, like, I need to eat my dinner. You're going to feed my whole family. And maybe an older deer allows itself to be caught. Okay, this might sound wild to some of you, but I don't think it is. I have heard, I was watching something recently, and it was in Africa. I think it was a hunter-gatherer tribe. He was talking about how they can see like a light from the animal. They can literally track the animal. So, you know, while I'm not going to become a hunter unlikely in this life, there's a way to almost be spiritually, if it's to feed your family, right? Versus going out with a high-speed weapon and just, I'm sorry, that's very different. Where I live, there are people who hunt with bow, like do bow hunting, and literally, know how to take the animal, and they eat the animal, and they like our ancestors did. So I just mention that because I think also part of the divine feminine is for us women, especially, to lead the way to heal the separation that we have between the natural world and us as humans. This idea of dominion, of domination over the natural world is not healthy. And I don't believe it's right. Spirit has, shown me these animal beings they're sentient, they're aware. You only have to even watch some like genuine videos on YouTube about different reactions in animals, whether it's wild animals like an elephant, or a chimpanzee. They clearly have intelligence and feelings. So that might be part of the program too. We'll figure it out together as we're in there, depending on your needs. And so I'm so glad. I look forward to seeing some of you within it. And I hope those of you who you got enough from this video on the yin, nourishing your yin. As a woman, if you're just joining, because now I see the numbers going back up, watch the video from the beginning. I want to say at about 8 to 10 minutes in, I really jump into the meat of the video, or the tofu. I jump into the tofu of the video, okay? And so you do definitely get a lot of information. Yes, you take care as well. So just sending out a blessing to you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if you're still with me, let's close together. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. I've been doing this a lot lately, goddesses, and some divine masculine lurking. I feel it. I feel it right now. One hand on the belly, one hand at the heart chakra, and just tune into yourself. Tune into your beauty, your magnificence. Where I am, I can hear the rain on the ceiling. I have a skylight. I can hear the rain drops. Tune in where you are right now. And just, again, placing your hands on your body so you can feel your own breath. You can come into the present moment. Even though we're connecting digitally, I just really want you to be connected back in to yourself in reality. Feel your breath, feel the belly moving as you breathe in and out. Just feel your own energy, your own vibration, and may you be blissed and blessed. I will see you soon, and I will try to put out a video for Thursday. Very likely on, I'm going to do it. It'll be a pre-recorded video I'll lead a meditation on letting go of 2023, like how to let go of any baggage or trauma from 2023. And if you're interested in that, I also have a previous video on my channel page about how to kind of intellectually let it go. But on Thursday, I'll have a video for you, I promise, on a meditation guided on letting go, putting down the baggage of 2023 so we can step into 2024. All right, my loves. Love you. Bye-bye.